Welcome, and maybe good afternoon, good morning. Just in case you are joining somewhat live, we are in maybe it feels like day 367 of quarantine or self-quarantine, depending on what state you are in. And kind of with that in mind, I just wanted to give some meal prep and planning tips. So this is something that I've been doing for really a few years at least. Kind of changed dramatically how I view dinner time and nighttime when I was working full time, and now that I'm working from home, both equally changes the tone for how I view dinner prep, dinner time, and just alleviates a lot of the stress of, what will I make, whatever. It may seem like a good amount of thought. I'm not going to say a good amount of work. I don't think that it's too much work or effort in the beginning of the week, but a dramatic difference. So in my nighttime routine and just in the quality of time and quantity, but the quality of time that I end up spending with my family and giving to my family. So with that in mind, I wanted to talk through a couple of different things. So a couple of things will be specific to quarantine and just maybe some tips to help you get through it a little bit easier. And then really, as I said, I've been doing this for years. And so maybe just also some things that you'll take with you on an everyday, even after quarantine is over, because it will end. It probably feels like whenever that might be, but it will soon pass. So first things first, I will talk about some quarantine tips. This is, especially right now, the president just really, or his office, whatever, just announced that they really would, don't even go to the grocery store. So staying at home and really allowing the next 2 weeks to be just inside, flatten the curve. That's what it's kind of the trending hashtag at the moment, but very valid, very true. And, grocery shopping every few days, or going outside every few days, or even, daily, or if we can avoid it, weekly, but maybe not. But if we can do anything to lessen our time outside, then a huge difference. So with that in mind, first things first, deliveries. So I'm not necessarily talking about restaurants, although I will touch on that a little bit. The first thing that I wanted to mention, and everybody knows Amazon, and Amazon is crazy at the moment, so I'm not going to touch on them. But what I want to say, certainly you can get a good amount of things from Amazon, not everything, but what are the other options that maybe not everybody knows? So here's a couple of things, all that I have used with, very happy with each of the services, each of the products that we've received, and the pricing. Now, I did have to buy Zoe toilet paper the other day on eBay, and that was ridiculous. Once this is all said and done, I'm just going to say karma, whatever, for overcharging people for that is a thing. So other than something like an eBay or an Amazon, where have I bought what, and I feel like, and I'm not going to the grocery store too often, but I feel like, as I said, I've been pretty satisfied with what I've gotten, and I feel like we are pretty as normal as could be in the food area. Now, take that with a grain of salt. Obviously, we're not getting everything that we would normally buy or would normally want, but very close to it, close enough that it doesn't necessarily cause nobody really notices. And in fact, I'm the one, I enjoy cooking, but this is going to be for anyone. As long as you are kind of cooking in meals and varieties of what your family likes, then you'll be fine. They won't really even notice. All right, so first things first, as I said, shipped options, and I've got some cheat sheet, so just, so that I don't forget anything, but so forgive me. Grove. So I think it's actually Grove Collaborative. So they think like your cleaning products, like Mrs. Meyer's, all of those. I use, for the most part, Mrs. Meyer's brands. And they're all there, and then there's extras, like Method is also there, kind of a little bit more to the natural side, still very effective, and not completely natural, but far more than what some of the other lines are. And I have right now young adult men and my husband in the house, and everybody's running or on the Peloton or whatever, sweating a lot. So don't worry, it's still going to get your stuff clean and still going to get it white and all of that good stuff. So the Grove is great, as I said, online. In fact, I just ordered my laundry detergent, my dishwasher soap, my dishwasher pods, and they have far more than that. I normally or used to get loofahs. They have hand sanitizer that I've gotten before in a super convenient spray bottle. Now, when I ordered, that was out of stock. Kind of a big shocker that it was out of stock, I know, but just in case it is in stock when you order it, and that's an option. I've had a couple of those, and I leave those in the car for when we do go out. So huge fan of Grove. They ship incredibly fast, and even with the shipping being a little bit delayed right now, it's actually still very fast. You get everything within a week. Typically it's like 2 to 3 days, but a great option. So the next item is really, everything else kind of gets into, well, no, the only other one that I'll say before food is if you have a pet. So pet food, chewy.com. This one I have not yet had to utilize because we still are pretty good on dog food, and but when we do run out, that'll be one that I'll use, because I don't necessarily want to go out for dog food if I don't have to. So otherwise the rest is food, and not talking restaurants yet, because I know a lot of restaurants outside of New York City, a lot of restaurants are absolutely offering takeout and delivery. I have done it before with locally in Cherry Hill where I live, Johnny's Pizza, love them, and will always want to support great local guys. I did it with Emmy Squared when RJ and I were coming back from Barry College. There's one in DC, one in Philly. They're both still open for takeout. Wonderful, delightful food. It's pizza, but I'm not a huge pizza person, even though I just listed off 2 pizza places, and I love it. I would probably eat there anytime. Lots of other restaurants are offering it. So definitely, if you have one restaurant that you love, it's still available for you. However, and I am a huge fan to support, especially small business, and not that the chains aren't whatever, but I like to support the small business anytime I can. But if we're trying not to go out, especially in the next 2 weeks, then let's think about what are the other options, and absolutely support those restaurants when everything kind of returns to normal, when this quarantine stuff is lifted. And maybe even find some new restaurants in the process for when we're all done. All right, so some basics. The Chef's Garden. If you follow me on social, I did put this in my stories as well. I did not put it regular, just in my stories. I do kind of a lot there of quick hits in my stories. I like that much better for that reason. So definitely stay on with those. So Chef's Garden. First time it was actually recommended to us, and first time I used it, got it, but it actually shipped next day. So it was ridiculously fast. I got the intro box, and because I really had no idea what the size was, would it be too much of this, not enough of this. How much do they consider, feeding one to however many people? Would it go bad? Like all of the things I had never done before, so I wanted to just check it out first with the intro. Lots of stuff in the intro box, incredibly reasonable. I normally try to buy organic if I can, but honestly, I'm probably a 50-50 on organic when I go to Wegmans or the grocery store. Just some things I'll always go organic on, and some things like a banana, that kind of thing, I don't necessarily. So keeping that in mind, 50-50 that I do for that. But very reasonably priced, very competitive to what I would spend at Wegmans, and Olive Chef's Garden, if I could speak today, is non-GMO. They don't use any pesticides, so you can feel good about that. What I received in the box was fantastic. Very happy with it. I've used a bunch already. You can check it out there, but even the salad tasted fantastic last night. Far better and far fresher, actually, than what I would normally buy at Wegmans. So that is something that I've decided, even though I just tried it for the first time and I thought I would just do it until, that's actually something that I'm going to carry over and continue, because the freshness really was wonderful. They also, just some of their root vegetables, same thing, very fresh, very tasty. They had started originally, they were for years, I guess, decades, I guess, they were kind of the chef's garden, so the garden to the chefs. Like they would supply to a good amount of restaurants. They're out of Ohio. And when everything started happening during this pandemic to the restaurant industry, then they started to offer from like at-home delivery. And so this is new for them, but based on their social pages and whatnot, it's going pretty well. And the correspondence that I've had with them has been incredibly positive. They're very quick. I probably couldn't say enough about it. Obviously, I already have. So definitely check it out if you are looking for vegetables, but still want to have some fresh food, but don't want to go to the grocery store. The one thing that I'll say is the last time I was at the grocery store, or the last few times, previously, over the last month, I'll say that I had been to the grocery store. The kind of disappointing is that all of the processed foods were going first. And like everybody was kind of hoarding the processed foods. And that included like so processed food in general, not great for your body and your health, but that included like all of the junk and sugar processed, like the Oreos, kind of thing. Like everything was gone. So just in case you want to put down the Oreo for a moment, or your body's feeling like, ugh, probably a major ugh if you have been eating the processed foods for the last couple of weeks, then I absolutely recommend. There is another one with fruit. So this one is primarily vegetables. There's another one that does fruit, and that is Farm Box Direct. I have not ordered from them yet. However, I more than likely will be in the next couple of days, because I'm a huge fan of fruit. We have normally a good amount of frozen, but we go through a lot of fruit. RJ and I love smoothies. I love them and protein shakes. Like I love the fruit in oatmeal, things like that. Like, or even just kind of as a snack, like an apple and peanut butter. So we do go through it a lot. Yogurt with fruit. So it's something that I want to replace again without having to go to the grocery store. Next item is meat. Now, we don't eat a ton of it. The boys still eat meat pretty regularly. Marty and I have very significantly dropped off of meat. I would say like we're almost vegetarians, almost entirely plant-based, but not totally. So I ordered again, grocery stores were empty. I ordered from the butcher box. And normally the meat that I buy at Wegmans is organic meat, again, for the most part. The chicken that we get is always organic, but, the hamburger is their like food you can feel good about. That's what they call it. So not the standard, but maybe like a little bit more natural, like the grass-fed kind of. And the butcher box was great, actually. Also very pleased with it. They will do substitutions, and they have a substitution list. So if, for example, the chicken thighs, they didn't have any, so they gave us chicken tenders instead. Not frozen, just basically chicken breast sliced up as chicken tenders. Everything is wrapped by the pound. So very easy to store in your freezer. It's all in the vacuum sealed packaging. So very easy to store in the freezer. Just very neat, very easy. And the serving sizes, because it's a pound, really fantastic. Like, you know exactly what you're getting. We have had from them already the chicken breast for sure. No difference in the quality, again, from the organic that we get at Wegmans. And same thing, shipping. They had a little bit of a delay, but they said it on the website that, they set the expectation that they had a little bit of a delay, and set the expectation as to when it would be shipped, and it was shipped when they said it would be shipped. So even though there was a delay, it really wasn't that bad. I think it was from when I first ordered, it was about a week and a half or 2 weeks out, maybe. But check it out. Again, thebutcherbox.com, really fantastic, and they are all about limiting impact, even though it's, kind of farming and all of that, and they certainly do have a lot of impact to the environment. They are all about limiting their impact, a negative impact to the environment. So that was pretty awesome. All right, so Purple Carrot, Blue Apron, those kinds of things. My brother and sister-in-law use them. They use Purple Carrot, but they use it pretty regularly, and they did before. Nothing but rave reviews on Purple Carrot. They've tried a bunch of the other ones, and they would say Purple Carrot is, they have told me many a time actually, that it's their favorite. So Purple Carrot, just in case you're not familiar, is basically, you pick the menu and they ship you exactly the ingredients that you need with the recipe. Super easy, and I know for my sister-in-law, she makes some substitutions, but again, they have nothing but great things to say, and they love how it comes, everything. So that's another option to really that's to me, the complete take all of the stress out of the equation, because you don't even have to worry about planning, which we haven't talked about yet, but we will. There is also just a couple of, I'm going to say, random ones that I really like, that I've used. The De Bruno's, it's a Philly. They have some great specialty foods, but they also have some great, as silly as it sounds, I love their port wine cheese with some Triscuit. That's probably a treat for me to get that. But we have ordered, they've got special cashews that were their number one, they said, so I ordered them, and they were fantastic. They have meats. We did get pancetta from them, and what else did we get? There were a couple of other things. They have actually a lot of stuff, lots of pasta sauce, and it's a mix of brands that you would know, and then specialty brands. So it's not super crazy. And the really great thing is, really on most of these, actually, most of the .coms, if you will, if you sign up for their email list, then you get a discount. And De Bruno's is that way. And De Bruno's actually, I'll link it too, but I'll link all of them, but they actually pretty much end up giving me a discount code with every order. In every shipment, I get a new one. So I'm not sad about that at all. So that's a great one to check out. Micheles granola, if you are into making your own, fantastic. But if you are not, I love them. It's the exact same price as what you would find at the store. Some really nice flavors. That's their specialty. That's all you'll find, but sometimes they order free shipping. They offer free shipping. Very tasty. I actually kind of nibble on that granola throughout the day. Like, that's a little bit of a snack. And then things like maybe some of your flour needs nutritional yeast, like depending on how specialized you want to go. Bob's Red Mill is online as well. You can order from them, and they have things that Amazon doesn't, even though Amazon typically, they do carry them, but just right now the way things, stock is kind of limited for Amazon. So as I said, those were just some quick hit ones. I will link all of those in there for you. The less important, but now I just want to spend a few minutes on the meal prep. So what I do is really but I put together a menu for the week. I don't necessarily say, Tuesday is going to be pasta, like spaghetti or whatever. I don't get that specific. I just say, like, what do I feel like making this week? What do we feel like having this week? And those are the things that I'm going to get. And those are the things that I'm going to make. And it absolutely helps with spending. Like, you're not killing your budget at the grocery store. Because if you're like me, that's the first place that I will end up killing the budget anytime I don't bring a list or stray from that, or just kind of stop into the grocery store. So I really always, especially in the last year or couple years, very diligent about having the list and sticking to it. So here's some examples of what I would do. I try to really shake it up so that nobody gets bored, including me. And I try to make some easy meals for myself because, again, I do like to cook. If you don't like to cook, then definitely go easy meals. Or if you're the person that cleans up, like for example, in our house, I cook and Marty cleans. Works out great for both of us, actually. So maybe you have kind of a similar situation, or if you're both like about both cooking and cleaning. So just think about planning it. And then as well, you could dress up meals so super easy, and you could do also and then you could just have the meal itself be easy. For example, breakfast for dinner. Like, everybody always loves breakfast for dinner, right? So throw that into the routine, and it's more than likely things that you already have at home. Like, if you're making it from scratch, which really is not a big deal at all, super not a big deal at all. The eggs, sometimes eggs, flour, sugar, oil, some baking powder, and you're done. Like, it's pretty much just as easy, if not easier, than the box. And there's no additional stuff in there. So, and you can kind of always throw that in to the mix during the week if you don't feel like doing something. We have a waffle iron, so, and everybody prefers that over the pancakes, but great, both are great options, and there's probably never a time that they don't want that. They'll add in some home fries, like some Brabant potatoes. If you've never had them, they're really just diced, sauteed. You would parboil the potatoes, or just dice them up and throw them into a saute pan with some olive oil and let them cook up that way. You dice them pretty small and then throw seasoning on them as they're cooking. Delicious. Like, delicious. We all kind of kill that. But yeah, so think about always throwing in like a breakfast for dinner. So easy. I always will do some kind of pasta. Again, it's just easy. It could be chicken parm, it could be spaghetti, it could be a risotto, actually, which are not at all hard to make. It's just a little time consuming because you're stirring for 20 minutes, but easy and not a ton of ingredients at all, just stirring for 20 minutes. So it's something that you can get onto the table fast. Don't be kind of, afraid of making it. Always good, always good. What else? Oh, something fun. So I always try to do something fun as well, like homemade pizza. Again, the pizza dough. There's a ton of easy, great pizza dough recipes. Food Network. We use the one from Bobby Flay, it takes like an hour and a half total. Super easy. Again, flour, yeast, that's the only thing that you have to have on hand that might be different that you don't normally. He does have like a teaspoon or two of sugar in there, but otherwise, and some olive oil. It's like stupid easy. And then to make the sauce, there's also a bunch of sauce recipes on Food Network that are like canned tomatoes, you know, crushed up in a food processor kind of thing, and you know, cooked. Like it's, you could get absolutely as fancy or simple as you want to, and then mozzarella cheese. Like it's super easy. The boys love it, Marty loves it, and the hard work is like rolling out the dough for a few minutes, and then they always they'll actually do all of it now, but they always want to. So if your kids are smaller, then they'll probably want to do the pizza, you know, put the sauce on, put the cheese on, so it'll be fun for them. I could eat Mexican 24/7, so very easy. I'll always include something like that. Saute up some vegetables, onion, peppers, mushrooms. If we're going vegetarian, if the boys are having some, throw in some chicken. Super easy, and make rice with it, because I like kind of taco bowls or burrito bowls, whether you have some salsa with it, some guacamole, and like Marty likes it as a corn tortilla taco, like, but so easy, great option. Again, the meals actually, all of the ones that I've listed really are less than 30 minutes or about 30 minutes. Some other ones, I always love to include a salad. It's so much easier than you think. It kind of just a little bit better, helps you digest it a little bit better, super good for you. There are some other things that I love for dressing it up. So, because it's so much easier to add a dash of flavor or dress up, or, you know, like just have a little bit of fun with the meals, whether it's a homemade vinaigrette. I love a mustard vinaigrette for the salad. Tons of recipes out there for it. I can give you some, but What's Got Me Cooking has a great cilantro vinaigrette. You could do biscuits. You could do a kind of dip with it, like really just to have fun, so that spaghetti just doesn't have to be plain spaghetti with red sauce. You could do a roll with it, do the biscuits with it, even toasting some bread and throwing some Parmesan cheese if that's all you've got right now. Put put up candles, like make it be fun for you and your family, so that it's not just, or even if it's just you, don't skimp on it and, you know, watch TV while you eat. Like that's, you know, really just enjoy the time there and the space, even if it's just to yourself. If you're with your family, awesome, enjoy that time with them. We also like to talk about the day. What are some good things that you're grateful for? What are the things that you did today that you just want to talk about? So the meal prep for me, the only other thing that I'll add is weekends on Sunday. I love anything that I can do. Those vinaigrettes, I'll make them on Sundays, things like that. The dips, guacamole, salsa, I'll make those on Sundays. Very little effort, huge return. Fresh salsa is dramatically better than the jarred, and so easy. So I hope this helps you. I am thinking to do a little bit more on it, maybe to walk through a couple of recipes for the YouTube channel. And so let me know if there's anything that you're interested in. But I hope this helps, and I hope that you are surviving well and really even almost thriving. I know there's a lot of challenge, and we have a lot of frontline people who are doing kind of everything, and a huge gratitude to you. And I hope that you know it. I hope that everybody who's out there, who has to be out there, just knows how much we appreciate everything that you're doing, honestly, so that we don't have to. So thanks for joining, and with that, have a fantastic day and week. And if we are done with this quarantine, then when you're listening to this, then fantastic. But otherwise, just know that it will pass, and there are whatever we can do to make it easier, less stressful, and maybe even a little bit more enjoyable. There are certainly some things that I am all for it. So have a fantastic day, and we will talk soon.